Home, Chapter 2, Verse 46. Sankhya Yoga, Philosophy of Life. In the last verse, Lord Krishna said, Hey Arjuna, the Karma-kanda portion of the Vedas is for the people who have the three gunas, that is Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. Rise above these three gunas. Be calm in the pair of opposites. Establish yourself in Sattva Guna and be a master of yourself. This is what Lord Krishna said in verse 45. We have to be very careful in understanding Lord Krishna's statement. Lord Krishna is not condemning Vedas or asking us to reject the Vedas. He says the Karma-kanda portion of the Vedas are useful only for those who have desires to be fulfilled. Once you become Atmavan, that is, once you have mastered yourself, once you have realized yourself, for that realized person, the Vedas are no more useful. Vedas surely show the path to attain the highest perfection. Absolutely no doubt. Very, very true. But once you have attained that highest perfection, once you realize the truth, once you realize that the self in me is the self in all, whether it is insects, whether it is animal, whether it is human beings, whoever it is, the self in me is the self in all. Once you have realized, then the Vedas are no more useful for that realized soul. Hence Lord Krishna says, keep the highest as your goal and work towards it. Become the master of yourself. Don't be like a bull used for extraction of oil. The master of the bull will tie some grasses in front of the bull. The bull will be attached to a setup consisting of a wooden pit and a pestle. The bull will try to eat the grasses before it. It can never reach the grass, but it will go round and round and round. The oil will get extracted. Don't be like that bull. The grass before the bull is like our desires. You can never fulfill all your desires because desires have a knack of multiplying themselves. Realize the truth and get out of this cycle of births and deaths. This is what Lord Krishna says. Lord Krishna makes this point very clear in the next verse. Verse 46. Yavan artha udapane sarvadas sampludotaghe tavan sarveshu vedeshu brahmanasya vijanatah. Yavan artha udapane. What is the use of small well? Sarvadas sampluta udage. When there is flood everywhere. Tavan sarveshu vedeshu. Similarly, that much use is there in the Vedas. Brahmanasya vijanatah. For the one who has realized the self. Lord Krishna says, Hey Arjuna, when the river is flooded, what is the use of a small well in that river? Similarly, for a man who has realized his self, what is the use of Vedas? Those who are living nearby villages, there will be a river which will be flowing. During summer, the river will become dry. Adequate water will not be there. So government used to dig a big well in the middle of the river, or nowadays put a bore well to suck the water and supply the water to the nearby villages. What happens in the rainy season? In the rainy season, the river will be flowing with full flow. They used to say the so and so river is in spades. That much flow will be there. What is the use of that well? when the river is overflowing full from this end to that end. The well or the bore well has no use. Similarly, the one who has realized his self has attained the highest perfection shown by the Vedas. Once the highest truth is realized, then the Vedas are no more useful for that person. When the river is flooded, it will be foolish to look to the well for taking out water. This is what Lord Krishna says. Even though Lord Krishna has given the best example, which was easily understandable by one and all, another small example which I will try to give. Nowadays, many students are aspiring to become a member of Indian Administrative Service or become a doctor by writing NEET exam or become an IIT engineer. There are several coaching institutes for training them. They teach several techniques for preparing for the exam, how to answer the questions quickly and intelligently. They conduct mock tests, how to participate in group discussions, how to attend the interview, etc., how to present yourself, everything they teach you. A student, say, for example, wanted to become an IAS officer. He took that rigorous training. He was successful, topper, IAS topper, and he was appointed as an IAS officer by the government. Now, for that student who had already become an IAS officer, what is the use of that coaching center? No doubt, it was surely useful for that student who aspired to become an IAS officer. But once that student has become an IAS officer, the coaching center has no more value for him. This is true for any field. Similarly, the Vedas are like coaching centers. They show us the goal, the path to achieve, the practice to be followed, everything they show. Rigorous penance and other methods are prescribed for realization of the self. Once the self is realized, which is ultimate, then the Vedas are no more useful for the person who has realized the self. In this verse, Lord Krishna says, Brahmanasya Vijanataha. The word Brahmin, it should not be understood in the meaning in which the present day people are understanding it. It is not by caste or by birth. It means those who realize the self, the intelligent people. Many saints, rishis, who realize the self were not Brahmins by birth. Many examples can be given. To name a few, Vyasa, Valmiki, Vishwamitra, and many other rishis were not Brahmins by birth, but elevated themselves to the status of Brahmins in the sense they realized the self. Why you call them as Brahmins? Somebody may ask this question. This is very similar to calling High Court and Supreme Court judges as Honorable Mr. Justice so-and-so. The judge may belong to any religion or caste, but once he has become a judge, he will be called as Honorable Mr. Justice. This does not mean all the others are thieves and scoundrels. Definitely it is not meaning that. It is a name tag given to the judges. Further, persons working under him cannot say that they are getting ill-treated. Why you should call that fellow as judge and not me as a judge? We are getting ill-treated. We should be given separate allotment, quota, etc. No, that is not the right thing. Similarly, Brahmins is a tag given to intelligent people in those days who realized the self. Another name tag is Kshatriya, which means persons who have strength and use that strength to protect dharma in the society. Verse 46 again. Yavan artha udapane sarvada sampludotake tavan sarveshu vedeshu brahmanasya vijanataha. Next verse tomorrow. Harihom sarvam krishnarpanamastu. Narayana 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 Narayana